Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight. This is my first show back in Atlanta in a very long time, and back at the Red Light Cafe, one of my favorite venues, with really good sound. Thanks, Michael. I'm Nadia Vaeh, and I'm a singer-songwriter. So I've always been the artsy one in my family, the black sheep, if you will, and I grew up really drawn to music and always creating and casting family members and neighbors into like little productions in my living room. And I really fell in love with poetry in middle school, and my mom really nurtured that. She was a poet. And then found myself in my first rock band in high school, and just kind of from there really loved the whole creating a song from start to finish. And I knew it was my thing. I knew it was what I wanted to do. So when I first got to LA, I hit the ground running. I started messaging people on Instagram. I was like, hi, I'm nobody, but please talk to me. And luckily, this amazing mixer and producer out of LA named Tyler Spratt, love you man, me on as an artist development project. And he was really the first person that believed in me. And as a result, it kind of domino affected, and I was able to build the rest of my team. So growing up, I was exposed to so many different types of music. I grew up going to the islands of Curacao, so like very drawn to island rhythms and feels. My dad is Lebanese. I've spent a lot of time in Lebanon, and the music there, just with the kind of melodic, vocal, modulated sounds have always really resonated with me, and that shows up in my song Spellbinding. So last June, I put out a song called Rise, where a rapper named Hazel Rose does this amazing verse, which I'm going to attempt to do tonight on stage at Red Light. And she's incredible. She really, I sent her the song, and she wrote this like perfect, she took what the meaning of the song was and just like nailed it in with no breaths. she just killed it. And I've heard very consistently that my song Anxiety has created a lot of impact for different people, because I think it's something that everyone can relate to, especially, you know, even if they couldn't relate to it before 2020, 2020 made it a thing that everyone can resonate with, unfortunately. And it's also one of my favorite songs because it's one of my more vulnerable pieces, so I was able to release a lot through the recording and writing process of it.
Sometimes I wish it wasn't run of me. Wearing armor for a dress, try to give my head a rest, but it always gets the best of me. Oh, here comes the paranoia, uncomfortably loyal. Oh, gotta tell me that I'm cocky, and all I know is forgotten. Flirting with the stress, I guess I like them cold sweats. Head is like the mess I'm sending on an SOS. Lying to myself, I guess I need some real help. I give myself the best critiques. I'm falling for anxiety. My thoughts are on the run from me. Flirting with the stress, I guess I like them cold sweats. I like them cold sweats, sweat on me.
Enough, I was already Zoom songwriting and producing stuff through the interwebs before it was necessary, you know, the only way for a little bit for us. And I kind of just, like, I had a little lull period where it was like, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, I'm just gonna keep making music. This is how I'm gonna get through this. So I actually wrote a whole album during pandemic, and I feel like that was my refuge.
Same day, different week. I'm always trying to do a few things. I still dress the way I do. Coffee with the side of nothing new. Advertisements go like fake then. Maxes out like credit cards, don't pay them. Everything is fine. I love myself online. I never have to leave the basement. Whoa.
So as an artist getting their start, I would say starting with singles was a really good move on my part, because I've been able to build fan base that way without the pressure of putting out so many songs for people to consume and digest. It is about the next part of my journey as an artist and as a person in this human experience, and taking a leap of faith and making changes for the better. This song is fun and angsty, and we're gonna do it right now, so I stop talking.
All my belongings done, waking up sorry, Dad, all apologies.
Oh God, I'm gonna cry.
Done waiting. It's too early in the song, yeah. Okay, let's start that pre-chorus again. I'm tough. All my belongings done, waking up sorry, Dad, all apologies in advance. Done waiting and wanting, tears made my eyes starry, Dad, think it's time to go all in. I need a leap of faith. I don't want a taste, I want the whole damn icing on the cake. Record-breaking fate, I just want feeling. I just want to feel more than this offspring. There's gotta be more to this stupid life thing. I need a leap of faith. I'm just gonna jump right in.
During pandemic, I was awarded for my song Holidays and Confused, which is another song that I feel like is one of my more vulnerable, and it also tribute to my mom. So having industry people tip their hat to that song was huge for me and an honor. So, any Nirvana fans in the house? Nirvana fans? Okay, yeah. I was like, so, we're gonna pay some tribute to them right now. Yes! She eyes me like a Pisces when I am awake. I've been locked inside your heart-shaped box for weeks. I've been drawn into your magnetar pit trap. I just put out a collaboration with an artist named Danny, and it's a song called One Night, and it's this fun, you can hear both of our influences very clearly in the song. He's very in the pop world, and I'm like leaning into this pop rock space, and we were able to conjoin forces and make this kind of one-night stand anthem celebrating LGBTQ and self-expression, and I love it. I'm excited to start performing that one live too soon. I would say don't ever give up and put out music even if you don't think it's good, because there are people out there that will respect that and take a chance on you, which is exactly what happened for me. So put yourself out there, knock on those doors, and don't give up on yourself and believe in yourself.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Michael and Ellen, for having us. This has been so fun. It's good to be back. Thanks to this awesome band back here, Bridget and Will. I love you. Next up, we're going to hit it with 1,000 cuts. I've been looking where I shouldn't, taking it like a bullet, you know. I want more. I've been making new decisions, going for the visions, you know. I want more. Patiently waiting, I'm pacing, every step's faded, but I know you want more. Educating and tasting, your lips are like motivation, but I know I want more. I found light in the dark. I stayed right where you are. That shimmering sin. I only love you when the lights dim. Death by 1,000 cuts. My sheets red from your heart. That shimmering sin. I only love you when the lights dim.
Hi, I'm Jon Pierce and I'm a fashion designer. I've been doing fashion design as a business for about 6 years on my own, and I started actually earlier than that when I got out of college. I worked at a atelier for about 3 years training and learning the finer points of fashion design from my former boss, Yelena. After I finished apprenticing with her, I struck out on my own, and my label Jon Pierce Fashions was created during that time. One of the things that has always inspired me when I work on designs is music. Usually I'll find a song that speaks to me, and I'll actually listen to that on repeat again and again and again when I'm sketching out my initial designs and creating. It's like, from a theater perspective, it's a collaborative process. Each of the individual parts have to come together to make one piece of art that's a whole. I think keeping that theatrical background in perspective, it's really helped push me forward as a designer and make a stronger presentation of both myself and my business. For this design set, I had an idea in my head, the cyclical nature of mother and daughter. The daughter being the sun, and then transitioning from the sun setting into the moon and becoming a woman and becoming a mother. And I'm trying to convey that both in the design style choices and in the color scheme. Costume drama the first year I did it. So costume drama, it's a show up in Asheville, North Carolina, and they encourage the use of unconventional materials. So the first year that I did it, my category was paper and Katya was my model. And it forced me to push myself out of my comfort zone because I had to mold and spray paint paper to give it the illusion of fabric shows. Another one that I was really proud of was my Red Death design, which was based off of the poem Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe. And something like that, it forces you to work with higher end materials, and each fabric is different, and so learning and experimenting and growing with that is such an important part of my process. So outside of fashion shows, I actually had a very unique experience to work on a short film as the lead costume designer decades apart. And that was a really interesting challenge because film is different than photography, of course, and so that added the pressure of having to make sure that everything was just so and precise. And also, because it's on a film, I had to work with the director's ideas as well. So it was a different form of collaboration, but it was a challenge that I welcomed, and I was really proud of the end result. My t-shirt is actually my business name and my mantra, Jon Pierce Fashions, Ever Evolving Style. For me, I think that style is an evolutionary process, that you should always be changing and evolving, not only with the times, but also with your choices of fabric, your choices of design style. To me, I want to push myself to be better each and every time, and so I try to incorporate that in each and every design I do. I think for me, of course, my color scheme is red, black, and white. Those are my core colors. But I think also I like to mix hard and soft elements. I like to do the unexpected thing. I take influence from my theatrical past. I love to add that element of drama, whether that's in the way something's cut, or the way a silhouette looks, or the texture of the fabric. I think that that's something that is at the core of myself as a designer. For anybody wanting to go into the designing field, I think that there are three important things that you should remember. One is to focus on the core aspects of. Second would be make strong connections. And I think if you're showcasing your voice, it'll speak for itself.
I am Fer Caggiano and I am an artist. My background is actually a little bit different than the standard artist, as if you'd like to say it. I actually have a formal education in marketing and advertising. Even though I always wanted to be an artist since I was a kid, I didn't see it as a possible career for the longest time. And it was life who actually pushed me in this direction. When I graduated in 2000. And at that time, my first husband, he got transferred to New York. So I had to actually drop my career, which I was doing well. I started on that industry when I was 15. And when we got to New York, I wasn't allowed to work. So I decided to actually go back to school and study what I always wanted to study, which was art. So it wasn't my first choice, even though, you know, like I always wanted to do that. So I ended up going to art school and still here. I'll say like being creative, I don't have a need for anything specific. I'm the kind of person that I don't seem to run out of ideas. I actually I have so many ideas that I tell people like, I need an army of minions if I were to actually make it all happen. But what I do, I create a list of all the thoughts that come through my mind, and then I try to select what is worth for me to put my time on to actually make it happen. So I would say like I'm inspired by life itself, and I was a portrait painter in the beginning of my career. I moved into landscapes for a while just because it's more commercial and you can make a living out of it much more easier than if you were like to sell portraits. But recently I decided to come to understand that what truly motivates me is creating change with my art. So I've been very much focused on the philanthropic side of things. So all my recent projects have been related to helping the community somehow. So I've done I've supported a reforestation project in Brazil, which I still support until today. I did the empowerment series with the Like a Girl, Dare to Dream show at the City Gallery. And I currently have a few other ideas that I want to start working, but they're all related to, you know, somehow helping either, you know, like a cause that I truly believe in, like bring awareness to that. And, you know, using the art as a voice to bring awareness. And then the product that comes out of the exhibition is, you know, what can become, you know, the commercial part of the project. First, I'd like to talk about the motivation for the project. Here I am in Charleston, a foreigner at the time, now I'm a citizen. But yeah, so I was a foreigner, a woman, and I decided to go back to portrait painting just because I love it. And I figured that I should paint some nudes because, you know, that's what you paint, no people, figurative, you paint a nude. That's, you know, art in its essence. And I was told that I shouldn't be painting that in Charleston because it's apparently a very conservative area. And I was like, you don't tell me what I can or what I can't paint. You know, it's my art. And then I figured that also if I was a guy, maybe people wouldn't have told me that I shouldn't be painting nudes or I shouldn't be doing something. And I feel like as women, we're often told what not to do. So that trigger just like really pushed me into creating something out of that. Together, I painted all those 40 women. And when I got a call from the City Gallery saying that they actually accepted my submission, it took over a year for me to hear back from them. But when they called me, they say like, can you display next month? And I still had 7 portraits to finish. So it was very challenging. And I got the final portrait I did on site when the exhibition actually opened. I had the portrait there and I just decided to make a big deal out of it. You know, you can come to the exhibition and you can see the artists at work. And some of the portraits were hung still wet. So it was a very challenging show and the repercussion has been amazing. The stories that came out of this, I'm so happy that I was told not to. And that triggered all this project that I think it's been a blessing. And I would go further into the niche idea would be more art with purpose. So even though I still paint landscapes and I'll do portraits because, I just love painting and I'll paint whatever, if someone wants to commission me to do, the craziest thought, I will do it because I love painting, doesn't matter what the subject is. But when I'm creating a series, when I'm creating a project, it's always based on what impact can I make with that. So I'm looking for a purpose behind my art. Well, I have a dear friend, Mark, and he actually asked me to paint this portrait. He said, you know, the Imagine release, I think it's 50th anniversary or something. Like, it's a big number, I'm not sure, but it's a big number of the Imagine album release. And he said, like, I would love if you made a portrait of John Lennon, you know, with your colors and all of this. So that's just the beginning, it's a sketch, but it's going to be a colorful painting. And I've always wanted to do fan art, you know, create a series based on people like that I truly admire. And of course, John Lennon is a great one to kick off, you know. But I am considering coming out of that a full series of people that I truly admire and talking about, you know, what they stand for and it's not just a portrait, it's what they represent. I have the painting with the finger, which it's probably not appropriate to show widely, but it is a painting that I did as a comeback for the criticism when people told me I shouldn't be doing that and shouldn't be painting nudes. And then I painted, like, I just gave them the finger, and it's a painting that was selected for a juried exhibition, and the fact that it was accepted and selected for that show gave me the push that I needed to put the Like a Girl Dare to Dream together. So I think that that's a very good iconic piece that represents a lot of, you know, my career, because it was a shift, like a pivot moment. So I love that painting for that. Yeah, so being a marketing person, I always thought that I should focus on the business side of art as well. I have a lot of artist friends that don't understand that being an artist really means being a business owner, an entrepreneur, you know, like you have a brand. And I never thought that having one source of income was the solution. So having original art is something that, you know, that's where I make my profit. That's where, you know, people really pay for my time. But I can't guarantee that I'll have a sale every month. You know, like sometimes, like I actually have been through a drought where I didn't sell anything for 5 months, and it was terrifying. So I decided that I wouldn't let that happen. I would always have something that is easier to sell, and also something that the crowd can have. Like, not everyone can afford a piece of art, but they may be happy to have something else that, you know, will still bring them joy. It still shares a story. So I created a product line, and the first products that you see artists doing is prints. So people can buy prints of my work. But besides the prints, I have, you know, scarves. Those fly around Christmas. It's like, it's a great gift. And then, you know, I have mugs, I have bags and all sorts of things. So it's a good, it's a big product line. I would tell all young artists out there that out of data, it is a fact that most artists don't make a living 100% selling original art. And that's the reason why I have my side business with products and all of this. And most artists make an income out of teaching on the side or having like a day job or something like this. So I would say that focus on what you really love doing, because you may not even be able to use art as the main income. So for that reason, it's pointless just trying to do art for the commercial side of it. So if you have a passion, if you have something you truly believe in, put all cards in that and work on what you love. And everything else, like I've learned from experience that once you figure out what you love and what you really want to share with the world, everything else kind of like seems to fall into place. You know, the supporters will come, and, you know, collectors will help, and because you're going to be true to yourself. So that's what matters.